Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reptile Room. I'm Joe if you didn't know, and this is the Reptile Room. It's 2025, let's take a look at the updates that we've done over the last couple of years. Well, I guess really just the last year. A lot has gone on, haven't posted a lot of videos. The last video you've seen are the tentacled snakes, which are right over here, and we are going to talk about them last, so stay tuned to the end to learn the updates on them. But first, let's take a look at the room. Do you guys notice anything different? My old subscribers will notice that there were walls, and we took them all down. I took them all down, I got rid of it. We wanted to expand, change out some storage in our house, and well, I kind of converted back our basement back to what it was. So this is the utility room, so on and off you might hear the furnace or something kick on and off. You know, it is what it is for now. But you'll notice we got some fish tanks and whatnot. But let's go ahead and go enclosure by enclosure and check out the updates that have gone on since you guys have, you know, really not gotten any updates out of me for a while. And you deserve one. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. Alright, well first let's start with Ronnie. And yeah, sorry I didn't really clean the glass. It's honestly, I built this new enclosure and I can't really reach from that side to over there. I'm a little short, not to mention up there. So when I get him moved out for the summer, which is always the plan, he moves every summer outside, lives in the backyard in a huge enclosure. We'll talk about that when it's warm outside, because it's cold as crap right now, and I'm not going out there. So I built this new enclosure after we took the room down. Oh yeah. Here, check this out. So does that look like Ronnie? Did I do a good job? So fun fact, I actually kind of free-handed that. I don't really wood burn and don't consider myself an artist. But there's Ronald. He's the big guy. This is the rhino iguana that we have, big male rhino. Look at those big spikes. He's a big dude. He's growing like a weed. And I think he really likes going outside in the summers. This is his new, actually it's a little smaller than his previous enclosure. His previous enclosure was what the room was kind of built around, and you know, you'll just have to check out those older videos. That enclosure was 8 feet wide by 8 feet tall by 5.5 feet deep. This is 6 feet wide, 3 feet deep, and 6 feet tall, so I can like roll it underneath stuff in my house. You know, thinking, you know, portability. And also, no one wants to buy this house with a giant enclosure in it, at least not for me. So I got some plants. We moved some plants around down here. We'll get into those later on. Down here, this is our blue-tongued skink. And he is actually super picky, and he needs to get soaked. And he is currently living inside of an old TV. This is a TV that got converted to an enclosure by my dad a long time ago, 20 years? I don't know, it needs to be revamped, so maybe we'll do that, but that's kind of right in front of Ronnie's enclosure. Now you'll remember my triple stack that I had custom built, painted up. I made all these are sliding doors, and it stacks 3 tall, and it's really nice. So down here I have 3 plated lizards. These are the Sudan plated lizards, the Gyrosaurus. I just sprayed them down so they're a little bit stuck in the back. I'll get some other B-roll later. Up top we have the Zonosaurus, and he is back in there. This is Madagascar's version of the plated lizard. These guys are really cool. We only have 1. We used to have 4. A lot happened, so now we're just down to 1. We did thin our group of reptiles just to what we want to keep to, you know, like make it easier for us to work with and work on. And you know, right now this enclosure is empty. It's set up for this guy, but when I put him in here, which is set up the same exact way as these guys, and these guys are living the dream in this one and in this one, but anytime we put him on substrate, he hates it. He absolutely hates it and can't deal with it, but when we put him outside, he's amazing and does really well. So, I don't know, he just needs to be outside more. But yeah, I don't know. He's in there right now, which he actually does prefer. All right, let's check this stuff out. Another plant and just moved to get more sun. The leopard gecko got shut down, and actually, we have moved him into the enclosure with our turtle, our Reeves turtle. And this is a 40-gallon front opening terrarium. The lid comes off and all that fun stuff. You guys know what enclosures do, but we shut this one down to kind of consolidate some enclosures to minimize power draw, you know, smart things. And he's got the basilisk used to live in here. He actually lived in a really big enclosure kind of over in that general direction. But he started to get old and got actually very old, so we downsized him so he didn't have to move around a whole ton. And then, you know, that he passed away last year. If you follow me on Instagram, blah, 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 you'll know. So now the leopard gecko lives in here, and actually he's been excavating in there and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Hold on. That is my, you'll see one of my timers and alarms. It's dry because the heat has been running because it's been cold, and you know, yeah. So you see the wide shot of the room over here. Get scared. All right, so that is this enclosure all wrapped up. Reeves turtle, leopard gecko, seeing how that goes. I don't know anyone else who's ever done that before. I don't know. Roast me in the comments. I'm sure someone will let me know why it's a terrible idea. So it's working for me right now. So this is a 65-gallon aquarium that had, you know, on this nice thing that had that sump, and it turns out this is like some really high quality sump, and I actually hate it. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't seem to filter well for me. There we go. So this enclosure, this tank is just broken down right now because we kind of went through it with some fish tank drama. Got some pictures of old snakes. Again, go back in. This is a cool piece of artwork. This is like all the cask-headed sort of basilisk type animals. I believe this is what you would kind of think maybe is the emerald basilisk, or at least similar. But you got your, oh, it's a cool piece of art. I like it. This tank is gonna get set back up and it's gonna end up working again. Now let's look over here. Look at this. This is really nice. You know, what's that? Is that like a 20-gallon or whatever? Actually, no. This is a 55-gallon aquarium. Up here is a 125. Let me tell you, that was nice and light and super easy to put up there. Haha. Actually, we have some blood red parrots. Here's the other. And then this is supposed to be a golden king. And then I got two of those. The other one is back there. They're a little panicky, but it is what it is, I guess. And then over here we have some of the little tiny polar cichlids, or the polar ones, whatever, the polar, yeah, parrots. We have two of those. And then over here is a bristlenose pleco. He's really cool. Might need to get a couple more of those guys. There's one of the other polars. Yeah. So like I said, that's a 125, so this is 6 feet long. And eventually I'll probably have this set up as a sump very similar to like I have on the snake enclosure. For now, it is running from that pump, goes up through this UV, and then it goes into this trickle-down filter, which actually seems to work pretty well. And we keep it nice and clear. I got a little bit of a wave maker, and haven't really shown anything for a long time because this project has kind of really been irritating. Fish keeping is a whole different thing. That's why we kind of on and off again fish keeping. All right, let's check out the tentacled snakes. Let's see here. Well, firstly, let's just take a look. Let me move some stuff out of the way. We'll take a look at the whole system overview. So this is the 40-gallon. It's wide, it's short. 14 inches tall, so it's 40, and that feeds into another 40. This is drilled for its overflow, which is right back here. So we have this overflow down into that, and believe it or not, it's just a couple $1 shoe boxes doing a trickle down into some. I actually 3D printed all of those custom color V1 or whatever the heck they're called, biomedia stuff. Again, kind of just pumped right back up into a nice little spray bar. But this is a cool tank. I really like it. Here's one of the snakes. See the two little tentacles there? Yeah. So a little bit of a scale reference. That's my pinky. We're not very far apart. You know, these aren't big snakes, so don't there's 3 of them in here. There's another one back there. They blend in real well. You can see we've got some, bush algae going on in here, but right now it seems like that's kind of normalized. These plants are really growing in right now. There's another guy right here. Yeah, you can really see the tentacles. So you can also see the lilies right there growing in really nice. These plants are starting to grow in really well. We've got guppies and platies, and then you'll see those are pineapple swordtails. They reproduce quickly. This is mostly I'm going for a more nature vibe, so that kind of feeds the snakes. Again, these snakes, if you haven't checked out the videos, in the past I've had these for a little over a year now. So the last video you saw on these was I just got them sort of video. But now it's been some time. They've really settled in. They're pretty active from what I can gather about tentacled snakes, and they eat really well, and they definitely I've tried to give some tong feeding attempts, but they are really disinterested. So the whole goal for me is just to get these fish to reproduce in here, and make a nice little aquarium for them, and it's working pretty well. You can see these plant roots back here going crazy. You can also see we got a lot of little platies coming up in the world here, and we're thinning down the guppies because these snakes are getting a little bit larger. But I really like this enclosure, and I hope you guys do too. And we'll see if these actually reproduce ever. Probably one of the only things that we're actually going to attempt to reproduce in here, because they're pretty uncommon. Same thing with the Sudan plated lizards. I would love them to reproduce, have some babies for us, just because they really aren't produced that often in captivity. Other than that, we aren't really doing any breeding. And I guess if you want to hear more about why I'm not really that interested in breeding anymore, and we've cut down on all of our critters, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, if you want to hear more about why I haven't posted a lot of videos in a while, drop the comments down below. Now I want to talk about Cold Blooded and Bizarre. I don't know if you watch their live streams, but you really need to, and you should totally do the raffles. I'm just supporting my buddies out there, and then my name gets drawn. So I'm heading down there later this year, probably in a month or so. We're gonna go hang out, so I'll probably shoot some videos down there with those guys. I got drawn for the grand prize, so what can I say? Love it. Thanks, guys. I can't wait to hang out with you and see what's going on. We got some ideas for what we're gonna do. I am not going to take the crested gecko. We don't keep crested geckos down here. I don't think they would really fit in. I believe it was a lily white crested gecko. Really pretty animal. Just not gonna fit in our room that stays a little bit drier most of the time, and a lot of these animals can deal with that. Crested geckos aren't such a fan. So we'll be getting into that. I'll be heading down to Charlotte, and we'll go hang out with my buddies Cold Blooded and Bizarre, Pat and Mike. Go check out their Instagram and whatnot. Check out my Instagram. Catch you in the next video.